Welcome to part 13 of the Wu playthrough. As I explained in the very first part, Wu is the neutral party, and now they show their neutrality by helping Wei attack Fan Castle.
How many sons does Lord Guan Yu have?
Or maybe it's because Sun Quan's really ticked off that Liu Bei gave at least a small portion of his land for Sun Quan's sister. He really thinks that Liu Bei thinks that little of Sun Shang. So, what he's going to do is try to take the lands of Yi for himself. And that means getting rid of Guan Yu. However, there will be backlash towards this. Way too much backlash. Oh, and spoiler alert, this is the last battle, literally, for the Wei forces. So, when we get to, and so if you actually play the Wei playthrough, then you'll realize that this is the end of the road for Wei. Sorry for that spoiler, for people who don't like spoilers. Oh, and speaking of something carrying over to the Wei playthrough, this guy. He's in all three playthroughs. Oh well. Now, about what we're about to go through. This mission has one thing that's going to be affecting both parts, and that is Cao Ren is going to be attacked throughout the entirety of this battle. So there's nothing you can basically do about it because there's one person standing in the way of defeating Cao Ren. So therefore, any areas in part 2 to try to get to Cao Ren is locked. So you basically are on a time limit, even though there literally isn't one there. Now, we really don't have much time. However, we have no choice but to actually chase down base captains and messengers, as well as destroy signal towers. These signal towers will just make things worse if the signal tower is still up and running. You'll find yourself taking down several enemy officers, and it'll be pretty hard to get to them. I mean, it'll be pretty hard to get into the palaces.
My lord, a messenger of Shu has been sighted heading for Gong An.
Now see, messengers like him, you want to off him, because sometimes messengers will drop items. At the same time, you'll keep the messengers from bringing in unnecessary trouble, which is basically the whole point of this stealth mission. Now, if we can only pick up his body and move it to a dark area, no one will know he's missing. Sadly, we have no choice but to go to this area too. We can't just outright go to the frontal attack, because when we try to, they'll still say, "Climb a tower, send a smoke signal," and it'll just get very hectic. So we're gonna have to destroy both signal towers in order to attack that palace that Mr. Fushiren is in. Okay, not all the areas with the signal towers have messengers. Just the 2 I just defeated. Okay, maybe 3, but that's considering that you let a messenger get away. And also, you gotta be wary that most of the camps that you take will end up getting taken back by the Wu forces for some unknown reason. Sadly, you have no time to turn back and, recapture the base. Because the longer it takes for you to stop the flood attack, and the longer it takes for you to defeat the people guarding the flood attack, which is Guan Jing and Guan Yu, Guan Sua, sorry. No, Guan Yu is in part 2 of this particular playthrough. But the longer it takes for you to actually do this, the closer Cao Ren will be to death. Oh, and for the record, make sure Lu Meng is alive too. So now you have 3 people to worry about. Yourself, if something should happen to you, Lu Meng, and Cao Ren, which basically nothing you could do about Cao Ren.
Lord Fushuren, how do you feel about doing a bit of acting for us?
Now then,
Say, my lord.
another thing that really ticks me off about this version of Fallen Castle, you have to wait for Fushiren to bring his sorry ass to the castle, even though he won't move unless you move.
Concentrated attack is
Very intelligent AI indeed. There's not much you can basically do. You have to wait for him. The gates won't open, and these scripted events won't happen until then. So now let's start beating the crap out of unsuspecting enemy officers.
What do you think of the Wu army? What are they doing here?
Panchun? Heishin? Oh, I remember these guys! They're the guys that killed, Zhang Fei!
I can see every
Yeah, that's right. Apparently, Zhang Fei's killers is in the Battle of Fan Castle. Even though these guys didn't show up until after, like, Guan Yu was killed. They weren't even involved in this battle, but yet they were here.
I surrender.
And now it's time to get the other half of the dynamic duo, Mi Fei.
The castle is ours. We must ride this wave of momentum and claim the western castle too.
Yes, I'm riding the waves of momentum. Stop telling me what to do. Anyway,
Has already surrendered.
well, that's the other half of the dynamic duo. Oh, and Dynasty Warriors 4, 5, and 3. Mi Feng and Fushiren are a pain in the ass. Especially if you're on the Shu army. Great. There are 2 messengers, also. Oh yeah, before I jump subjects, make sure you kill these 2 messengers because they'll be going in 2 different directions. One will be going to Badai Castle, the other one will be going to the area which I failed to catch the messenger in because I was trying to catch the other one.
They will pay for what they did to our allies.
But also, the whole situation with Fushiren and Mi Feng in the previous games, they would let Wu come in and they basically screw up the whole rotation and you're overwhelmed dealing with Wu forces. So that's why I call them the dynamic duo, and that's why duo, and that's why nobody likes them. However, in a event, you can actually have your lord to plead amnesty to Mi Feng. No, have your lord grant amnesty to Mi Feng, not plead, grant. Let's destroy the smoke tower before things happen. Good. Now let's get those pesky supply captains. But anyway, these guys, Mi Feng and Fushiren would be granted amnesty or executed depending on the event. If you beat both of them, they would be executed. If you only capture one would be spared. Whoever you didn't beat, that's what I meant to say. Whoever you didn't beat will be spared and will join the enemy army. So anyway, the supply captains, you have to take down the transport unit and make sure you beat the supply captain before you get there. I couldn't because I had to stop what I was doing, kill the messenger, destroy the signal tower before anybody is notified. But since the supply captain made it, I'm just gonna go after Guan Sua and Guan Xing because I can't proceed without these guys being killed. Just for the record also, Guan Sua is rallied. He's a Musou officer after all. So be careful.
This battle is as good as over. The power of my ancestors.
Now then,
Well done. You have a positive effect on
go after the guy that's not rallied, and then go after Quan Yu. But make it quick, otherwise you're gonna find yourself into serious trouble. Cause after all, keep in mind, Guan Yu, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Guan Yu will try to end Cao Ren as quickly as humanly possible, but you have to do whatever you can to beat Quan Yu. Like, my suggestion to you, play this on beginner, and for higher difficulties actually. Play this in beginner, get Lu Xun in a high stat, and then go to conquest mode and get Lu Xun at a higher stat before coming here. Or more importantly, get him a stronger weapon, because he's not going to be able to do as much damage to Quan Yu. Otherwise, you'll find yourself into a difficult predicament, but the first part is rather difficult, as opposed to the next part.
Fine work, Lu Xun.
Oh, and for the record,
Only the god of war himself stands in our path.
and for the record, Fu Shiren and Mi Feng were executed at the end of this battle, so you'll see them in battles afterwards, but still, they weren't in the Wu army. That's one inconsistency that I still don't get. Anyway, now it's on to part 2 of this battle. And boy, it's a doozy.
Guan Yu is nowhere to be found. He must have withdrawn from the battlefield.
Wherever he is, he won't get away from us.
Our debt to Wei has been paid. Why must we still attack Guan Yu?
Jing is an important strategic location. Possessing it will lead to stability for Wu.
But if we attack Guan Yu, then surely Liu Bei will seek to retaliate.
When that time comes, Lu Xun, it will be up to you to defend Wu.
Lord Lu Meng. Guan Yu is known as the god of war. It is going to take all we have to overcome him.
Lord Lu Xun has grown so much. He reminds me of a young Lord Lu Meng.
Lord Gan Ning's always surrounded by those rowdy pirates. Not that I'm complaining. Hey, you're looking a little pale. Actually, it's kind of hard to tell behind that beard.
Hey, show some respect, man. Our man Gan Ning is the one who'll pay for your rudeness.
Sorry, Grandpa.
Just stop talking, will you?
Are you okay, old man? You look a little tired. You're just imagining things. Besides, I'm not that old. Well, if you say so.
Someone should cover up that drum. The rain will ruin it.
I can't imagine how Our Lady is feeling.
I am a warrior. A little rain won't perturb me.
The young soldiers look up to you, my lord. They are the future of this army.
When this battle's over, will you teach me? I never had much education, but I want to be a strategist one day.
Reinforcements could be on their way. We can't afford to let up.
We will slay Guan Yu and claim Jing in the name of Wu. All units.
Now it's time for part 2. And same as before,
My lord,
Cao Ren is on a time limit. Well, technically so is Wu. However, once again, you can't get to him. Even if we go to the castle of Jiangling,
Our job is to stop them and cut
or
off
try to at least, once we get to the point of interest, there's no way to get to Cao Ren. So once again, you're going to have to eliminate the Shu forces and go through most of the Shu officers before Cao Ren is defeated. And also they will see to it that your path is blocked. So, with that said, you don't have much time. Oh, and one other thing you want to keep in mind, Lu Xun is now the person of interest you have to worry about, and not Lu Meng, because you are playing as Lu Meng. I mean, that is kind of obvious there, but at least there's less things you have to worry about. Oh yeah, and speaking of Ma Chao, well, speaking of reinforcements, there's not much you could technically do.
We must keep an eye on him.
Because once again, I tried to get to Cao Ren because there was a bridge that normally would appear there. But unfortunately, I could not do so. So with that said, I'm gonna have to stop Madai in his tracks. And now,
Yes, but our enemy is Guan Yu.
I'm gonna have to actually take a choice of going through Guan Xing or Guan Sua. Get to Guan Xing, because Guan Sua can and will rally. And he'll come after you anyway. So you'll still have to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's not the point. The point of the matter is, oh, I picked the wrong area. Just great. Just great. I picked the wrong area yet again. And now, in order for us to actually get to him, we're going to have to defeat Guan Sua. Oh, crud! Oh, and there was nothing you could do about that either. So now, we're going to have to wait till the gate opens in order for us to save Lu Xun.
One more for the glory of Wu.
Lu Xun got himself into a bind, and you have a limited amount of time before you can get there. Otherwise, well, Lu Xun will be defeated, and as such, the Wu army will lose. So now you literally have 2 things to worry about in this stage, and that's what makes it hard.
Guan Yu appears to have moved to my castle.
And what makes it even worse, Guan Yu's not going to escape, but Guan Yu will give you the runaround and more things will happen. More scripted events.
Reinforcements are arriving from the southwest, led by Huang Zhong. That's bad news, old man. They're after Jiang Ling.
Well, now that I've got to Lu Xun, now it's time to defeat everybody that stands in my way. Because with all the enemies that's coming here...
Yu is yours to finish off. He is in my category.
I will see.
Yeah, with all the enemies that you're gonna be fighting here, more enemies will be coming, and if they dogpile Lu Xun, well, that's pretty much the end of this mission. Excuse me, I just had the hiccups there. Now, let's deal with Hua Xiong and anyone who tends to stand in my way. You've got to be careful, though, because the more people that stall you, the quicker Cao Ren will die. And that was sort of an error there. Yep, that was definitely an error that just happened just now. I don't know why that happened, but it did. That's really weird. This playthrough has been nothing but weird things happening. Like, for instance, the weird pop-up, the black line that appeared in the screen, and now that sound jump that you just saw. Well, sound jump and frame drop. That's not a good sign. I don't intend on losing either. Oh, great. Another jerk I have to deal with. Guan Yu. I wouldn't necessarily call him a jerk. He's trying to protect his dad. But to me, he's somebody who's just keeping me from completing my objective. Well, you had to beat all those guys in order for you to go forward. So, up the stairs we go! And there's nobody left to stop me.
You wish to fight me with that frail body?
I might have known. You'd see. You're right. I am suffering from an illness. Now that you know that, you'll know. I have absolutely nothing to lose.
Your spirit remains strong. You deserve the honor of the absolute best I have to give.
Well, it's showtime, and oh dear Lord, Guan Yu can be hard in harder difficulties. Even though Mi Fang, Fu Shiren, and Pang Jun, and everybody else that's appeared in here that's not supposed to appear in here will appear.
Throw as many as you want to. I will fight with every ounce of strength I have.
He's going to rally, and when he rallies, my God, he is strong as all outdoors.
Witness my fighting spirit.
And do be careful of one other thing. Guan Yu will undo everything that you have done. Just want to make that clear.
My lord, why would you fight when you were clearly so ill?
Jing Province is ours at long last. And Lord Zhou Yu's dream is fulfilled.
My lord.
Your time begins now. Your talents must support the future of Wu.
Although it nearly cost Lu Meng his life, Wu successfully managed to slay the god of war, Guan Yu. And by doing so, the majority of Jing fell under Wu's control. Meanwhile, Liu Bei was furious over the death of Guan Yu and could barely contain his rage. Sun Quan must pay for this treachery. Liu Bei abandoned his marital ties to the Sun family and led a large army to attack Yiling. Sun Quan met him in battle without the slightest hint of hesitation or emotion. For upon hearing of Liu Bei's invasion, he had immediately gathered his men and sought a strategy that would bring them victory. This was Sun Quan's way, now that he had surpassed his father and brother and accepted his destiny as ruler. Witnessing Sun Quan's disciplined presence of mind, the young heroes of Wu prepared a brilliant strategy to ensure their success.
The Shu army is large in number, but they have marched a long way. We must strike now, while they are still fatigued.
Absolutely.
So everyone is in favor of Ling Tong's plan?
Just a moment. Lord Ling Tong's plan has merit. But it fails to consider the emotions.
Who do you think you are? I don't believe a word he's saying.
That's
He's out of his mind!
Come on!
Having lost Guan Yu, the Shu army is burning for revenge. We should shore up our defenses and wait for the enemy to realize their own fatigue.
It's not half bad.
But can we really hold out against an army that size?
You doubt us? Remember, we have used cunning to defeat large armies before. At Cherbi, for example.
Right on!
Oh, they done done it now!
Quan, you will take command in this battle.
In the next episode, we will be fighting in the Battle of Yiling in Part 14. This is RVMan985. See you guys next time.